Hi tribe, this is Magic with Soul Therapy with Magic, and today I was inspired to come on to talk about healing after rejection. Many of us have experienced rejection in some form or another. And this could be rejection from a parent, a friend, a lover, or a job, any form of rejection. And sometimes we take certain rejection harder than others. There's that one particular rejection or person that rejected us that has caused a great deal of discomfort and pain. And a lot of us are still holding on to attachments that result in fear of rejection. And it affects the quality of our lives because moving forward, this fear can hinder us in trying new things, going after certain people or jobs. So I want to talk about that. Soul therapy is about healing the soul, healing the wounds that show up in our lives through reflection, through mirrors, which are the people we interact with. So therapy is about self-healing and self-care and reaching a point in your life where you can improve the quality of your existence by addressing the pains and traumas of your past so that you can move forward into a healthy, more fulfilling reality for yourself, experience for yourself. Especially in times like these where we are being forced to make changes, economy is changing, we are unable to be free in a sense when it comes to interacting with others due to social distancing. So you're afforded the opportunity to take some time out for yourself. Not saying that you're not still busy, because we still have to work, we still have family, we still have children. But if you can take some time and dedicate it to yourself and making yourself your number one top priority when it comes to your health, it is great to incorporate your soul therapy. What does your soul need? What does your soul long for? Are you listening? So here's your message, soul therapy. How do you heal after rejection? So we're going to start off with the Energy Oracle deck by Sandra and Taylor. And if you're interested in any of the cards displayed here, you can find them in my description box. I have affiliate links where you can purchase these cards for your own personal use, okay? Or if you want to do readings, I do recommend all the cards that I'm using. So give me a card to start the message off, Spirit. I did a little bit of meditating, and that was what Spirit wanted me to talk about. Right, oh my God. Attachment. Part of the reason why it's hard to heal from the rejection is because you're still attached to it. Okay. In the book, this is a very interesting card because it's a 5. And you know, in Tarot, we always see the 5s represent some sort of change or some sort of challenge. Look at this picture. Her wrist is bolted to a post, and I hope I'm in frame. And she's holding a mask. She's taking off her mask, right? And this is because there is a need to take off your mask. There's a need to see clearly that you are living in darkness. Look how dark and gray it is. She feels like she can't move. Her hand's bolted. But this could be an illusion. So I'm going to look in the book and I'm going to read the meaning of this particular card. And it says attachment, perceived need, and choice to let go. Okay? And it says here in the upright position, this card reveals that the passage forward is being stopped by strong attachments to old patterns or people from the past. The chain at your wrist is bolted to fear. So this represents you. So the chain at your wrist is bolted to fear from the past or desperation about the future. Some of you guys are worried about the future. And this is that fear that I talked about, the fear of rejection. Fear that if you go after a certain person, you might get rejected. Fear that if you go out for a certain job or career, that you might not succeed. That they will reject you. Or maybe you want to start your own YouTube channel. You're afraid that you might get rejected. You know, maybe you want to tell your friends how you feel about a particular situation and you feel that they may reject the way you feel. There is attachment to some sort of fear. And it says here, although you may wear the mask of pretense or even contentment, this is why you got to take off your mask, because you got to see that you're living in darkness. You know, everyone may think you're happy, but you're not. You simply can't seem to go forward. The stuff that's keeping you stuck could be physical addictions, emotional patterns, or even old relationships. Are you living in fear, addicted to the old unhealthy habits, or so desperate about the future that you can't be happy now? If so, the chains that bind you could be of your own making. This card is telling you that it's time to take action. You need to break out of your chains and move forward to an open, free, healthy, and authentically happy life. It may take some time, courage, and effort to let go. But know that you are capable of doing it. Until you do, the difficult energy will just repeat itself, keeping you stuck. Wow, very powerful message. That's what we're going to start off with. I'm going to use my Sacred Soulmate card because I know some of you guys are dealing with rejection from a person that you've loved in the past or may still love. So let's build up on this message on how to heal. So Spirit, how do we heal from rejection? Part of it is letting go of fear. Okay? Spirit, how do we heal from rejection? All right. Thank you for the message. Bottom of the deck, I want to show it to you. It says recharge. It says retreat. Okay? And this is now, retreat now for important self-care. And this is very important for you guys to see self-care. And I just talked about this, about taking some time out to really heal, to really make yourself a priority when it comes to your healing, you know, your overall health in general, mental, emotional, and physical. So let's look at the messages. Lessons of Neptune. Denial, illusion, right? There could be some illusions, and like I said, you could be feeling like you're bolted to something, that you're attached to something, but it's just an illusion. And it says deception of self or by another. So there's a lot of self-deception that can hold you back from really understanding why you were rejected or why this happened the way it happened. You could be in denial of the rejection. But this is about needing to have self-love, boundaries, and detachment. Detaching. The first card that came out is detaching. The last sentence, it says, and detachment are important. Having to detach from the things that bring you down. Next message is telepathy. So if you have a telepathic connection, it makes it really hard to detach, doesn't it? Because you can feel the person that has rejected you. You can feel them. You can sense what they're thinking. You can even feel when they're intimate with someone else. You can feel when they're pulling away. You can feel when they're thinking about you, longing for you. So, how can you break the connection without severing it for good, but maybe just disconnecting to allow yourself to think? Because it is a distraction, isn't it, when you're just so attached to someone to the point where you get obsessed, to the point where you're watching them on social media or constantly thinking about them and how they rejected you or what they did to you. What can you do to stop doing that? Well, one thing that worked for me when I was rejected was writing in a journal like this one. And I got this from Five Below. Choose your own journey. I any kind of journal will help, but I use this journal to write in. Really good way to heal yourself. Doing something very conducive to your healing and your self-growth, like starting a new project, okay? Finding something to be passionate about, doing something practical, maybe a hobby, doing something you love, such as singing, dancing, cooking, creating something is a good way of keeping you busy, but not distracted, but busy, so that you're not so consumed by the negative energies or thoughts. When you're doing something you love, it brings positive energy to you. It enhances your mood. Let's say you love to cook or you love to dance. This will alleviate some of those negative emotions that you have doing something you love. And if you're thinking about this person, what you can do is you can organize your thoughts by writing them down in a journal. You can write about why you think what you're thinking about, and then you can start to see patterns, and then you can start to eliminate the patterns. A thing that I noticed that I've done in the past is I would like overthink a situation, reanalyze and replay it in my mind. And I think that's why that card of denial, that energy of denial is here. Because sometimes we're not clear on how something happened. We kind of have our own idea of how we want to see it. And it's good to write it down so you can get a clear picture of how the event played out, why it played out. And then it gives you an opportunity to take accountability and responsibility for the role you played in the situation. You're being asked to trust. And Spirit is saying a need to trust in the divine plan at this time, regardless of the external, regardless of anything that's going on. If you trust in the divine, into the universe, and you have faith that everything will work out in your favor, it will alleviate some of the worry, stress, and anxiety that you may be feeling. You may feel like, dang, I'm never going to find somebody else. Some of you guys may know that this is your person. You may sometimes get discouraged and feel like this person's never coming back. Spirit is saying trust. Trust that things will work out. For the other ones that are waiting for new love or wanting new love, you have to trust that Spirit's going to bring in the best person for you. Or they want you to trust the fact that rejection is your protection. Sometimes you're rejected because the person that you're with is just not for you, or it's just not the right time. That person's not in alignment to what you're trying to do or where you're trying to take the relationship, or vice versa. You may not be healthy enough or whole enough, and you may have to go through some lessons or need to take some time out to heal so you can forgive. Especially if some of the rejection is stemming from childhood. Because if you have trauma from a parent, from abandonment or rejection of a parent, it's going to affect your relationships, and you're going to have issues, and it's going to prevent you from having healthy connections with people. Because you're going to have in the back of your mind a fear of being rejected, and therefore you're not going to be as open and trusting. And it's going to cause a barrier. You may be afraid to communicate because of it. You may be afraid to get intimate because of it. So it's very important that you address the issue and really work on it before jumping into another situation or taking this person back. Because there could be a pattern of taking the same person back over and over and over, and them rejecting you over and over and over. And this is because you're rejecting yourself. You're rejecting your worth and your value. The next message is completion. So there is going to need to be an ending of feeling this sense of rejection, or just detaching from something that doesn't serve you anymore. I'm going to do a clarifying clarifier card. I'm going to do a clarifying card for each of these energies here. Lessons of Neptune, clarifier. Yeah. So you need clarity. You're confused. There's illusions here. There's denial here. You're not wanting to be honest and tell the truth to yourself, maybe to others. How you really feel. Some of you guys are hiding the fact that you feel rejected. And it's time to be honest with yourself so you can heal. Four of Swords. It's time to reflect on what happened so that you can get the clarity that you need. Stop being in denial and accepting something, accepting that you were rejected, and accept that it was for your highest good at the time. It's to push you in the direction you need to go in so you can heal from it, so you can want better for yourself, so you can be present in your relationships and to take accountability in your relationships. Clarified telepathy. Wow. You're really going through the motions here with this Five of Cups when it comes to this connection. You feel a very strong telepathic bond. And again, it's time to stop avoiding the fact that you feel left out. You feel abandoned. You feel rejected. Some of you guys are really struggling because you really wanted a commitment. You really wanted long-term with this person. It didn't work out. Some of you guys, this is someone you're already in a commitment with. And although you feel this person on a very deep level, there's some issues when it comes to having a balanced connection or coming together as a family unit. Some of you guys, this is you not feeling that you're going to have this Ten of Pentacles. You feel that you fear that you may not get it in the future or with a particular person. Some of you guys are needing to end something with someone where there is a lot of arguing, fighting. Some of you guys are needing to let go of attachments due to, a broken family, a broken home, a loss of employment. Some of you guys were rejected by an employer. You're grieving. You're crying over spilled milk, and that is one of the reasons why it's hard to get over the rejection. Spirit wants you to know there's two cups behind you, and that although something was lost, there's always something that can be gained if only you will turn around. You got to be honest and face the truth. Seek the truth, Spirit says. See things for what they are and move accordingly. This is about reflection. This is about trusting your intuition. Listening. Telepathy could be about your spiritual connection and listening to your higher self. What is your higher self saying? What is your intuition calling you to do? Are you listening? Trust. Clarify trust. You're stressed out. I do feel it. It's a lot of cards because there was an ending. But this is also a call for you to end this heartbreak or this, repressing of emotions. This is time to pour out and purge. It's time to open up and let it all out. Let your heart break open wide. Those negative emotions need to come out so that you can transmute them so you can have a better quality of life. It's time to make a decision here. It's time to let go of this burden that's been holding you back. Cut away at what's been holding you back. Remove the denial. Remove the fear of starting something new or even communicating how you feel to someone. It's imperative. Because the longer you hold in these negative emotions and you don't allow them to transmute or you don't allow this change, the more you suffer. The more you're in denial of this ending and that this has ended for some of you guys or something needs to change, the more you suffer. How do you heal from rejection? You acknowledge that the rejection happened. You acknowledge why and the how. And you make a comprehensive plan of attack. And not even attacking the person, but just getting back to your true self. Getting back in alignment. Getting back to who you are before the rejection and after. Let go of the burden, baby. Let go of the stress and anxiety. Cry it out if you have to, but you got to be honest with yourself. Is this relationship helping or hindering? Is this connection helping or hindering you? Is holding on helping or hindering you? You got to want to heal. You got to want to. You have to have a desire to. And the next message that we're going to clarify is completion. Clarify completion for the collective. Wow, you got to cut it out. And you got to let go. Got to let go. Could be letting go of a person that's playing mind games, just playing games, or just feeling conflicted. Letting go of a challenging relationship or just challenging thoughts. You got to be honest and have the courage to be able to do this. This is about courage. To sever something that doesn't serve anymore, that just brings you strife and pain. Time to end something. For some of you guys, this could be ending a job, a long-term experience of any kind. Holding on to regret, holding on to shame and guilt, holding on to worry, anxiety, crying over spilled milk, crying, mourning a loss that you can't get back, ruminating on the past. Clarify attachment. Time to heal. Some of you guys were dealing with King of Pentacles type energy. This doesn't necessarily mean they're an earth sign, but you're needing to get back in balance, and this is about getting grounded, getting stable. This is about transmuting the energy. This is very practical. This is earth. So that you can be in alignment to something that is more beneficial to you, more stable, possibly a more stable person, a more stable relationship. So for some of you guys, you're dealing with an earth sign there's where there's no equal give and take, a husband or father figure or someone that's in a position of authority. For others of you guys, this King of Pentacles represents, again, like I said, just a relationship where you need to put your boundaries up and set your expectation of wanting something that's an equal give and take, wanting a connection that's supportive, wanting a connection where both people are wanting the same things, both people are wanting a victory. For some of you guys, this is you moving on to go so that you can be in alignment to this equal give and take, because right now you're not in alignment. So we're going to ask the sacred soulmate cards the advice. What's the advice? For some of you guys, the advice is that there will be a return of a person, but it's going to be a stalemate relationship. There's a reconciliation, or so the advice for some of you guys is to reconcile, or this is going to remain in a stalemate situation. You could have been the one doing the rejection, or rejecting. You could have been the one doing the rejecting, so you could be the one that needs to reconcile. Or if you feel rejected, they're saying that there is going to be the return of someone, and that will end a stalemate situation. For some of you guys, you are being asked to reconcile within self. What's the decisive action to get rid of a stalemate situation? For some of you guys, that means you need to leave. For others of you guys, there is a return, or you're the person returning to something. Clarify reconciliation as the advice. Reconciling doesn't necessarily mean reconciling with another person. It could be reconciling with yourself. Getting whole again. Yeah, coming out of conflict with someone. Right. There's going to be a reconciliation. If you are in conflict and if someone has rejected you, Spirit is wanting you to know there will be a reconciliation. And part of the reconciliation is to forgive. That's your message for advice, to forgive and to renew. Okay, and it says here, a return of passion and play, fun coming back in. Your community is healing. This is healing with family members. Could be with people you work with. It could be a lover. And it also says here, new things can re-spark your love life. So you're being asked to forgive and to renew yourself, okay, and get ready for a new adventure. For some of you guys, this is a new person. It's a past life soulmate. For some of you guys, this is someone you've been dealing with that has rejected you. You are being asked to reconcile, even if it's not to get back together, but even if it's to allow the person to apologize. Because if you don't, you're going to keep you in the stalemate energy where you're unable to move forward. Part of rejection is learning why you were rejected and how you can grow past it. And through forgiveness and acceptance, you will be able to grow past it. You will be able to heal. So how do you heal from rejection? You have to have a desire to want to heal, want to let go of envy, let go of resentment. I hope this message was well received, and I thank y'all for joining me on this episode of Soul Therapy, or this session of Soul Therapy with Magic. If it helped, please leave me a comment. Please like and subscribe and share.